Saddle up and giddy up because it's game week 39. Yeehaw! With me, riding that Bronco of championship predictions, is my co-host. It's Mark Ryman. How are we getting on, Mark?
I just can't match that energy. Yeah, it's good to be back, isn't it? It's just felt so long, that international break. I don't know. Things were really starting to heat up before that. Teams at the bottom and teams at the top. It was getting really interesting. Let's hope we can pick up where we left off.
Yeah, well, not just for Luton, but also for us. Like, hopefully we can also pick up with some fantastic predictions. Just a reminder, if you're watching this and you're not subscribed, for more energy like that, hit that subscribe button on our channel for more championship content. We had a final stab at the final table predictions. It's a lot of fun. Link is in the description below this video. But for now, let's jump straight into our first game this game week. It's Sheffield United versus Coventry. What are your thoughts?
I've gone for not that convincing 1-1. So my thoughts are it's Sheffield United at home. And Sheffield United at home are pretty tough to beat. And to be fair, Coventry away are not the same team as they are at home either. 3-0 against Sunderland, amazing result before the break. Losing 2-0 against Derby away and just scraping a win against Oxford in their away game for that. Sort of makes me think maybe I'm being too optimistic from a Coventry point of view because away from home they're not the same. But still a lot of injuries for Sheffield United. We talked about it in our predictions. I've got Sheffield United just missing out on the top two. I think you did as well. So it's a tough game to come back to for both sides, definitely, isn't it? It's lots to play for both of them. Yeah, 1-1, just couldn't make a decision.
I've also gone 1-1 here. It's a big test. Both teams, it's a very big test. Do Cov have the stones to really have a good go and cement their place in the playoff? Do Sheffield United have enough to go toe-to-toe with Burnley and Leeds? I guess we'll see, but I see this one ending in a stalemate. Cov with a tremendous attack. Sheffield United, they get the wins, but they don't look like the most convincing of squads. When they play. I mean, the squad is fantastic, but the actual play style is a bit Chris Wilder-esque. But what would you expect when you have Chris Wilder in charge? Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
You would get Wilder, absolutely. But hey,
yes.
he's doing it, and that's all you can ask for, really.
Exactly. 3 points is 3 points. Can't be sniffing at that, even if it is ham sandwich football. Right, Hull City versus Luton Town.
I've gone for a non-biased Hull City 1, Luton Town 2. I mean, this could easily go either way. I know it's a cliche and you can say about any game in the Championship. Personally, I think Hull are going to be fine. I really do. I've never really been convinced with them being real relegation contenders. But they do have injuries and suspensions to important players. Obviously, Louis Barry's gone back. Absolutely gutted what a player he could have been for them towards the end of the season. Cody Drame's out injured as well. João Pedro's suspended, I think, although I think he, at Kenilworth Road, missed a series of sitters over and over again in that game. So I actually quite enjoyed watching him play from a Luton Town perspective, at least. If Luton Town can find the back of the net like they did against Cardiff, but not like they did against Borough, but find some of that form, I think they'll give Hull a game here. And they've got a good record at that stadium. Is it the K-Com still? I don't know. I lose track of who's sponsoring stadiums, but Luton have got a good record at Hull, so let's hope it continues from a Luton point of view, but it could go either way. 2-1 Luton for me.
It is indeed the K-Com. I think that's very ambitious, a 2-1. I did have this down as a 1-0 Luton. I was thinking, hark back to the days of Kizenga, Luar, rifling one in, a P-roller with venom from 25 yards, 30 yards out. But I can't see Luton winning this. Hull are much improved. 1 loss in 5. Luton 2 losses in 5, and The most optimistic part of me wants to see Luton win, but I just can't predict it. I can't see it happening. Hull at home, injuries or no injuries. Luton have their injuries as well. Jacob Brown out for the season now. Like, look, we'll talk more about that in the big match preview that will be dropping tomorrow on this channel. But I just see a draw. And I'm being very optimistic here because Hull, they're on the upswing. Yeah.
Well, I think both teams are, but I can see both arguments there.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see how long the delusion lasts. Could be until at least 1 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday. Who knows?
Well, yeah. Well, people were calling us delusional for both of us having Luton Town to survive this season, and I see the point there. Yeah, it's very easy to be that delusional.
Yeah, it is. But you've got to see it in terms of form as well. So 8 games to go. We will see.
Got to see if form persists. Yeah. Right, on to Luton Town's rivals. It's Watford versus Luton Town's relegation rivals, Plymouth Argyle.
Yeah, I've gone for a comfortable home win here. I've gone for a Watford 2-0 win. Watford are in indifferent form, but Plymouth, other than that freak result against Portsmouth, and that feels like I'm being slightly harsh, but considering Portsmouth just beat Leeds prior to that game, it certainly wasn't coming. Plymouth, for me, are down. I can't see a way in which they stay up. And even though Watford are indifferent at home, they should see off this Plymouth team relatively easily. 2-0 Watford for me.
So I've gone for a 1-1 here. Yes, Plymouth look like they've given up the ghost, but one thing they can do with Katic, and they got some other massive bloke at the back as well, they defend all right, like lots of crosses coming in. They'll have someone to, put reducers in on Chak for Tadze. And Watford, they just put crosses in. Cross in. And Plymouth, one thing they can do is just defend those crosses. Back to goal, see what happens. I don't know. I would have gone for a 0-0, but I wanted to spice up my life, to be honest. So that's why I went for a 1-1. Lots of goals, a score draw, as it were.
We both predicted 2 goals, but I can't see Plymouth not conceding more than 2. They concede shipping loads at the moment. But yeah, you could well be right. Who knows, I guess. Yeah. But we'll see.
Well, is it Jerry Halliwell that's the Watford fan, I believe?
No, possibly. Who knows?
Well, spice up your life. That's all I'm saying. Right. Spicing up our lives, we're Burnley versus Bristol City. Lots of goals in this one, I bet.
I was going to say, I don't know what spice you're referring to. What's the dullest of spices? Yeah, I think. Guess what I've gone for? Go on, guess. Guess what score prediction I've gone for.
Is it similar to what I've gone for? I've gone for a 0-0.
It's similar. I've gone for one more goal than that. I've gone for 1-0.
Okay.
I think it could be tight, this one as well, actually. I think Bristol City have had a right uptick, but I would say the international break's probably come at the wrong time. And, their away draw against Sheffield United, while very good, just, I don't know, I can't see them repeating it against Burnley. Burnley are just impenetrable at home. Having said that, they have conceded a couple of times their last 5 against Cardiff and West Brom. But yeah, 1-0, safe bet.
Well, you've nailed it there. You said Burnley are impenetrable, but Bristol City also are very tough to score against as well. They're, I see this being a 0-0 purely on the virtue of Burnley are just they're like Sheffield United. It's like a ham sandwich that's had another slice of ham put on top of the ham that's already in the ham sandwich, but no dressing or sauce or condiment or anything like that. It's just bread,
dry
meat. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it is.
You need a glass of water.
2 bits of ham. You're allowed to dip it in a glass of water. That's Burnley for you. But they just out ham sandwich Sheffield United, and I don't see any goals in this one.
Well, you are predicting quite the entertainment this weekend.
Well, you know,
God.
it's the first week back from international break,
Yeah,
and I
yeah.
think a lot of heads are. Although looking down my list, yeah, I haven't predicted too many goals. I've predicted one game with lots of goals, actually.
Yeah.
Right, on to Cardiff versus Sheffield Wednesday then.
It might be this one, I suppose, but I've gone for 4 goals in this game. Cardiff City 1, Sheffield Wednesday 3. Cardiff, for me, comfortably the worst team I've seen at home this season, i.e. at Cardiff City. They're losing games at home with the exception of Blackburn. I think Sheffield Wednesday got too much in attack. They're playing all the teams down there, aren't they, Sheffield Wednesday? So it'll be interesting. The only downside to this, of course, is the off-field stuff at Sheffield Wednesday as it gets closer to the end of the season. We know already that Danny Roll's been linked to Southampton over the season. I think I don't think that interest is going to go away. And as the playoffs drift out of sight, whether the eye gets taken off the ball here is the only thing I would say, maybe further down the road. But for this one, against a very poor Cardiff team, unless something has majorly changed over the international break, I can't see it happening here. 3-1 Sheffield Wednesday.
So we discussed this in our final table discussion. Link below. Check it out in the comments. We both kind of agreed that Sheffield Wednesday had nothing to play for, and I think they've kind of given up the ghost. So I've gone Cardiff 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0, because Cardiff have something to play for. Sheffield Wednesday, with all the off-the-field stuff that you're talking about, you know, Danny Roll, isn't he? Is he going? Is he staying? Well, he's not staying. He's definitely not staying. But where is he going to go? I think Sheffield Wednesday kind of running out of steam on the beach, winding down, not going for the playoffs, not getting relegated. Cardiff, they're fighting. Might not be the most fun football. It's like a ham sandwich, but without the ham in the middle this time. It's just 2 slices of bread stuck together.
Do you want me to show you? Do you want me to show you the replay of some of their games recently, just so you can double check whether you believe Cardiff are fighting? Because to me, they are absolutely down there with one of the worst teams at the moment currently, and with Aaron Ramsey injured as well. I know he's not.
I know
exactly
it was Blackburn,
but
I know it was Blackburn, but
it was.
It was a good win.
It was a good win. Of course, it's a good win.
And they were good goals.
When you're down there is good.
Terrible defending, but
but
they were, you know, they were good, and they still have the 3rd highest goal scorer in the division if they decide to actually play him, Callum Robinson, and they have Ruben Colwill, who's a sensational player. Just play, let Ruben Colwill play, free Ruben Colwill. But I think they're going to win.
Okay.
And when am I ever wrong, Mark?
Well, quite.
I get these.
I can't argue with that logic. I can't argue with that.
I get 12 out of 12 every single week.
Yeah, just check that, guys. I mean, to be fair, you tend to do better than me. So, look, one of us is going to have bragging rights. But to be fair, if you're right, as a Luton fan, no one's going to be pleased. So, let's both of us hope that I'm right and you're wrong, yeah?
I don't actually get 12 out of 12 every week. I get 6 out of 6. But, you know, if you look at the Sluga 6 prediction league, it's the other 6 that I get right. Because I'm actually rock bottom in the Sluga 6 prediction league. It's the other 6. I get them spot on every week.
Sure.
Right, here's one. Leeds United versus Swansea.
Yeah. Lots to talk about the Leeds United bottle happening again, and it might do. But I don't buy it. I still think that they're too good. I know that the same was said last season. Could be a big game, this one at home, to settle some nerves. I've gone for a 2-0 Leeds win. Swansea have had an uptick, definitely, and they pulled themselves away from any trouble over the last few weeks under Alan Sheehan, and fair play to him. I don't see it at Ellen Road. So I've gone for the safe option of Leeds 2, Swansea 0.
Yeah. Same here.
We
Leeds
agree.
2, Swansea 0. Yeah, we agree. That means it's going to happen. I think Sheesdog's going to do it. He's going to keep Leeds to just 2. And I agree with you completely. This is exactly the type of game that Leeds need to stamp their authority back on, you know, top spot in the league. It's only 8 games to go now. They cannot bottle this. Like if they manage to finish third after the performances this season, it would just be embarrassing. It really would.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I reckon if they dropped into the playoffs at the end of the season, I don't think they'd go up, because that would be such a hit, mentality wise.
I think Leeds and playoffs don't mix. Any Leeds fan would probably see you, but you're right as well. Not just that, and just the mentality of it. From being top pretty much for the whole season is that very, very tough. But yeah, as you said, it's the right game at the right time for them. The only thing I guess you could say is that even though Swansea positionally aren't going anywhere, Alan Sheehan's still not been given the permanent job, so there is still something to fight for from a coaching point of view. There's only that really I can say for giving them a hope.
The funniest thing is Phil's given them the kiss of death, because he did a video saying why Leeds are going to, storm to the title, and then they draw 1-1 with West Brom. They lose to Pompey. They beat Millwall, and then draw with QPR. Drop some serious points over only won one of their last 4. Madness.
We do have that ability as a podcast of cursing teams that we think will do well. So just bear that in mind.
We put the evil eye on them, don't we? I think the only one I'd be right about was Sunderland.
Yeah, but you did big them up as well, to be fair. But
I did.
We'll get to them.
Yeah, we will indeed. Right, here's one that's bottled the playoffs by the looks of it. Is Middlesbrough versus Oxford United.
Yeah, I don't know whether they'll have any players back from their massive injury list, but I think Carrick was talking about the possibility of having some actual defenders playing in this game, which will make a difference. And at home, it's not the same as away from home. Oxford, for me, again, Watford result aside, which was a good win for them, definitely. It kept their heads above water. I still see them down there. Again, in our prediction video, spoiler alert, but I actually put Oxford in the bottom 3. I think they've got by far and away the worst running, and I think away from home at Borough, they're going to find this game pretty tough. So I've gone for a 2-0 win. I think it'd be relatively straightforward for Borough if their defenders are back, as said. Otherwise, it might get closer.
You're going to laugh at my one. I've gone for a Desmond. Oof. I've gone Borough 2, Oxford 2. Look, I believe in the fight. I think Oxford, after that win, they got some fight. There's some fight in the old Rowett, It can't just be that one fantastic hot run of form and done. They have to keep going. Middlesbrough, they're not all that. I don't think they got the defenders back. The ironic thing with Middlesbrough is they're actually playing their B squad now. That's the funny thing. That's sort of an in-joke amongst Luton Town fans, getting a head
Borough
shake.
Fans will know it as well.
Yeah, Borough fans will know, because everyone was rinsing Borough for playing their B squad when they came to Luton all those years ago. They need defenders back desperately.
Yeah, they do.
Because the playoffs aren't gone,
no,
but they are making a right old pig's ear out of this, aren't they?
They are. I would say they're in form, aren't they? I mean, they've won 3 of their last 5. How they got a draw in their last game is down to Luton's poor finishing. But genuinely, I mean, they were on a terrible run for that, though, weren't they? So, yeah, it depends on what that Oxford result does. I mean, talking about teams having the international break at the wrong time, any momentum, over the 2 weeks, let's see. But it's they certainly would have probably wanted to play this game last week. But yeah, there'll be goals. I don't think there's many Borough games where there aren't. So that I agree with.
Well, the most important thing for Borough in their pursuit of the playoffs is how the teams around them do, the teams ahead of them. And that brings us on to Norwich versus West Brom.
Yeah, I'm not convinced by either, but the one difference is that West Brom aren't losing games. And, while they're not winning many either, Norwich's form has really, really dipped off. They are pretty much reliant, aren't they, on 2 or 3 players, and Borja Signs, Josh Sargent, for example, being 2 of them. I find this a tough one in terms of predictions. I've gone for a 2-1 West Brom win, but it could easily be a draw. I was trying not to predict everything as a draw, basically, but I get a 1-1 out of this feeling very much so. But I've gone for a last gasp 2-1 win for West Brom. But yeah, it's going to be tight and probably not much. Yeah, not many goals, I don't think, in this one.
No, same here. I've gone West Brom 2-1 as well. The thing is, I made my feelings very clear about Johan Hoftharup in our final table prediction. Link in the description below. Check it out. I think he's going to get sacked at the end of the season. I think he's been absolute pish. He's been terrible. Mowbray, I have a lot of time for Tony Mowbray. I think he's done a tremendous job at West Brom since taking over, because they were without a manager for a long time. But he's done a great job, and long may it continue. And I think if they keep this up, they will manage to stay in the playoffs to much of Middlesbrough and Bristol City's chagrin. I think I pronounced that correct. Yes. Right. Let's move on to Portsmouth versus Blackburn Rovers.
What the hell is going on, Blackburn Rovers? Right, seriously. Is it because you couldn't relegate us in 2019, so you are getting it in now? Because Blackburn have made it their personal mission to lose to every single relegation rival that Luton have. And everybody else, by the way, as well. Although they drew against Norwich, interestingly, in that lot. Look, obviously, losing a manager of John Eustace's quality is massive. But they still have a squad that was performing. I know they've got injuries, but lots of teams at this time of the season have got injuries. It's the end of the season. Everyone's playing with injuries. I'm not having it as an excuse. It has been absolutely appalling. It's genuinely awful. And the attitude of that squad needs a good look at over the summer. The issues stem from off the pitch. We all know that. We all know the ownership is absolutely mad and going through whatever financial court cases they are in India currently as well. But God, it's a mess, isn't it? It's an absolute mess. And I don't see it changing. I really don't. I mean, they are by far and away the worst form team in the league. And I know I've been having a go at Cardiff, but I think, even Cardiff are doing better than them. Portsmouth 2, Blackburn 0, because Blackburn are absolutely embarrassingly terrible.
They are. They're so abject. Yeah. They're terrible. And what makes this even funnier is how they started the season. They started the season incredibly well. And I actually did a video. It was one of our first videos on the channel. I said chaos reigns supreme. And I included West Brom, Blackburn, and Watford. And I said out of the three of them, Watford and Blackburn will revert to the mean. Now, Watford I thought would revert a bit more than Blackburn would. But I'm looking at Blackburn and I think we both predicted them 14th and 15th respectively. They are going backwards so fast. It's mad. And you can't keep pointing to injuries. They are so bad. I should get my prediction in. And it's funny you mentioned 2019 when Blackburn played Luton and managed to score 2 own goals. And Luton won 3-2.
Thanks for that, by the way.
Portsmouth 3, Blackburn 2. This is the game where I've gone big on the goals.
That is big.
As they say. Yeah,
that is big. That is big. Home. Yeah.
Yep.
I feel like someone at Blackburn's got a bet on. That's what I reckon. Stick it on. Stick it on while we're in the top 6, boys. Come on, we can get big odds on finishing 15th at the end of the season. There we go. Yes, shocking. Absolutely shocking.
So bad. It's amazing how Eustace was holding that club together, like Spider-Man holding the ferries together. Well, the ferry together in Homecoming.
Yeah. I mean, look at where they were when he took over. I mean, they were right in the danger zone, weren't they? And
they're going back that way, aren't they?
Yeah, well, absolutely they are.
Is there any chance they can get relegated? Nah, they're on
Not this
52
season, no.
points. Yeah,
No
they're
way.
on 52 points. They're probably
they can
fine.
lose all of their remaining 8 games and be perfectly safe for me. I think there's no way teams in the bottom 3 are getting anywhere near 52. I think they're fine.
No chance. You got to go back quite a while for a team to get relegated with 50 plus points. I think Peterborough, maybe the second last time they were relegated, they got relegated with like 51 points, I think. You got to go back a long way. It's not going to happen. But I think Blackburn, they're in danger
trouble
next season.
They're in trouble next season. Yeah,
they are indeed. Onto another team that is in trouble, but this season it's Stoke City versus Queen's Park Rangers.
Yeah, I mean they are in trouble, big trouble. And I saw some comments. Obviously, I think you put Stoke in the bottom 3 in your prediction video, and I put them just outside, probably by a goal difference or a point, only because of recent history. But they could easily drop. And it's no good going. They've got a good squad, and they've got on paper a good manager. We've been saying that about Stoke ever since they were relegated from the Premier League, and they've never achieved it. The interesting thing about Stoke, unlike these other teams, is while their spending and everything else is mad at times, they've actually got owners that care about the club. Unlike a lot of these things. I mean, the Coates family will plough money into that club all the time to try and make sure that it does well, and yet they're still failing just because of the poor structural stuff there. So it's slightly different from your teams like Blackburn or Cardiff. Anyway, for this one, I've gone for 1-1 because QPR aren't in great shakes either. And I found it quite a hard one to predict. I don't think there'll be many goals for it. QPR, decent draw, very decent draw, of course, against Leeds, which bucked that trend. So maybe that changes things slightly, but they are away from home at Stoke at this. So yeah, 1-1 for me. Tight game.
Yeah, right now QPR is stinking the place out. Like 4 losses on the spin. That draw did really stop the rot. I'm fancying them for another draw again. I think Stoke will be far, far happier with the point, though. I've gone 1-1 here. Although, where's the goals going to come from for Stoke?
Yeah.
Is Ali Al-Hamidi good enough? Don't know. Don't think
difficult.
so.
He's not played enough football, has he? Let's be honest. Since he went to Ipswich, he's not kicked a ball really, apart from that penalty that went to the corner flag. He's really barely played. Yeah, but you know what it's like for strikers that without constant game time, they can't, and then to shove that into a relegation battle, where he will be having that pressure. I think that's a very difficult place to be. Their better option, of course, is forgotten his name. The guy came from Blackburn, Gallagher. Yeah,
Sam Gallagher.
Be a better option in terms of experience for me.
He can find the back of the net.
Yes.
He scored 2 good goals.
Yeah, I think that's a better chance. And of course, their goalkeeper in Richie Johansson. He's clearly the key for me when it comes to Stoke, and if they stay up, because he's incredible.
The funny thing about Victor Johansson, it's like he's a magnet for relegation scraps.
He is, yeah. Yeah. But that's what you get. You go to Rotherham and then go to Stoke. Well, Stoke relegation's pushing it a bit, but what do you expect? Go to Cov or West Brom or something. Come on.
He could have gone anywhere. He's one of the best keepers in the division. He's so good. Right, on to Sunderland versus Millwall.
Yeah, I had this at 1-1 for the longest time, and I've eventually gone for a 1-0 to Sunderland, but I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced with Sunderland at the moment. And again, Sunderland fans point to the injuries. Yes, we know you've got lots of injuries, as have Millwall, by the way. But I think it is the factor that they know they can't really go anywhere now. There's no way they're getting automatics and they're staying in the playoffs. They've just got to deal with it and try and get some form back in before those playoffs. Because, if they show anything like the form they've shown this season, they should go up. They really should. But that's easier said than done when it comes to mentality. Tight 1-0 win, not convinced.
Yeah, I've also gone 1-0. Look, Sunderland, they're running on fumes. Injuries, but everyone has injuries. It's very tough. And Millwall, is not the team you want to go to when you're trying to pick up your form, coming off the back of a 3-0 loss to a playoff rival. Millwall, very physical side, some very good players. They have Ivanovic, who can finish as well. Very good finisher. Sunderland, decent enough defence. I think they'll be able to get through this game. It's not going to be pretty, though. It really won't. And yeah, I was erring on making this a 1-1, maybe even a 0-0. I think this game could be attritional. But watch it have tons of goals now. Like Millwall at the beginning of the season when it was like 4-3 here, 5-2 there.
Yeah, what was that about? That was mad. I'm glad they reverted
defense wasn't settled. That was the problem.
Yeah. It's like Bristol City now being consistent. I can't cope with it. Let's go back to normal, please.
Best league in the world. That's all I'm going to say. Right, and our final game is Derby County versus Preston.
So this one's delayed, isn't it, until the Wednesday? Because Preston obviously in their FA Cup run, and that's going to make a difference as well into this game. So it's really hard to call based on that. Do Derby carry on their amazing run of form? 3 wins on the spin after the international break. I really find it hard to bet against Preston. They're just so hard to beat. I've gone for a Desmond, which sounds a bit mad considering Preston don't usually score a lot of goals, but I feel like it's going to be a very entertaining game. But yeah, I can't pick a winner. 2-2.
Yeah, I was on the fence about this one. It depends entirely on how Preston do. If they get dumped out of the cup, then they'll be a bit more miserable, won't they? I got Derby 1, Preston 2. I rate Preston. I mean, the football's absolutely abject, but they're hard to beat. They are a ham sandwich with a piece of ham split in half and sort of folded up to make it a little bit thicker for a more interesting crunch. That's Paul Heckingbottom.
Just get this straight in terms of your sandwich structure and hierarchy. So because now everything is a ham sandwich, it's quite difficult to differentiate. Yeah. So Burnley are the best ham sandwich out of the ham sandwich, and then it's Sheffield United. Am I right? And then at the bottom end is Cardiff because there was no ham. So Preston is somewhere in the middle. Just so I know where we're at.
Yeah.
And then we see everybody else who haven't decided to stop listening immediately after this point.
So Burnley are 2 bits of ham, like thinly cut ham that's just splattered together. Sheffield United is 1 piece of ham. Preston are the bit of ham that's been one half bit of ham that's been folded. And
one with a teddy bear face.
With one of those stencils that you can like stamp on your bread to cut it out into interesting shapes. Okay. So, who is your lock of the week?
Well, I'm going to go for Watford to beat Plymouth 2-0 because I think that'll probably put the kibosh on it. But I just can't see Plymouth getting another win at all until the end of the season. In fact, I wouldn't be surprised if Plymouth don't get more than 1 or 2 points till the end of the season. But, too big a gap. Yeah, that's my lock of the week.
Trying to, spread the OK football curse, right?
Not really, no. I actually want Watford to win that, please.
I'm going a bit different here. I'm going Cardiff 1, Sheffield Wednesday 0. Believe.
Now I'm hoping
I don't want it to happen, but I firmly believe. And Sheffield Wednesday, please prove me wrong. Show me that you're not on the beach. From a completely unbiased perspective, of course. But I think they're on the beach.
Yeah, they're a difficult one to predict for that reason. I mean, they're not.
They're so streaky right now.
They're not going to make those 6 points up, are they? So, no, I can't see it. But
playoffs are gone. They're gone.
Yeah.
But that's us done for this week. Remember to hit subscribe if you've enjoyed this little nugget of championship content. Loads more. Check out our championship playlist while you're having a little look around our channel. As always, whoever you support, have a great week. International break's almost done. Yay!